Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into some ancient and honestly super practical wisdom for our modern, completely overloaded minds. Let's just jump right in.
Does this sound familiar? I mean, really, does this feel like your brain every single day? You're trying so hard to focus on just one thing, but your mind feels like this chaotic storm of to-do lists, dings from your phone, conversations you had yesterday, and just this constant low-level hum of anxiety. You're here, but you're also kind of everywhere else all at once.
And that right there is the real problem, isn't it? Our attention is almost never where our body is. We're stuck in this crazy tug-of-war between the ghosts of what we did yesterday and these phantoms of what might happen tomorrow. We almost never land in the one place that is actually real. Right here, right now. But what if there was an anchor in all that chaos?
Well, there is. And it's probably the most fundamental, most important concept in all of Zen practice. It's what we're calling the art of right now. So the present moment, or Dang Sha, isn't just about saying, oh, it's 3 p.m. right now. It's a much more radical idea. It's the idea that the past and the future, they don't really exist. They're just mental projections, memories, and worries. The only thing that's truly real is this exact moment. It's about a total immersion of your attention, a complete dismantling of that illusion of time. This classic Zen saying just nails it perfectly. Think about it. How often do you actually just eat your lunch? Or are you scrolling through your phone, planning your evening, worrying about that meeting later? You're not really eating, are you? You're just refueling while your mind is a million miles away. To be fully present means to simply experience the act of eating, the taste, the texture, everything with your entire being. That's it.
And the practice for this, it's almost deceptively simple. First, you just notice when your mind has wandered off. That's it. That little moment of awareness, that's the huge first step. Then, and this part is key, without beating yourself up, you just gently guide it back. And the best way to do that? Anchor yourself in your physical senses. What do you feel? The chair beneath you? What do you hear? The sensation of your own breath. That's your anchor in the storm.
Okay, so once we can stand our ground in the present, then we can start to deal with our thoughts. And that brings us to this widely, and I mean widely, misunderstood idea, the no-thought mind. Or, as I like to think of it, thinking like clouds in the sky. So let's clear this up right away. No thought, or wunyan, does not mean forcing your brain to be empty. Trying to do that is impossible, and honestly, it just creates even more mental noise. The reality is so much more beautiful. Think of your mind less like a box you have to empty, and more like a crystal clear mirror. A mirror reflects anything that passes in front of it, right? A bird, a cloud, a person, but it doesn't hold on to the image. It doesn't judge it or chase after it. No thought is exactly that same practice. It's about allowing your thoughts and feelings to pop up and then just letting them go, without leaving a trace. You notice them, but you don't grab onto them. You just let them float by, like clouds in the giant open sky of your awareness.
Okay, now for the dramatic part. Sometimes our mental habits are just so stuck, so ingrained, that we need a bit of a shock to the system to break free. And this is the Zen principle of direct awakening.
You've heard this one, right? This famous riddle, this koan. So what's the answer? Well, that's the whole trick. There is no logical answer. The entire point of a question like this is to short-circuit your rational, problem-solving mind. It's designed to make your intellect just hit a brick wall, so that in that moment of pure confusion, a deeper, more direct kind of understanding can flash through.
And Zen masters used all sorts of wild, unconventional tools to make this happen. These baffling riddles, yeah, but also sudden, sharp shouts, or even totally absurd responses. Can you imagine asking some deep question about the nature of reality and just being told, go drink tea? These aren't just random, crazy acts. They are precision tools designed to shatter your old mental frameworks and wake you up, right here, right now.
But, and this is so important to remember, all of these teachings, the quotes, the riddles, the methods, they are not the truth itself. They are just a finger pointing you toward the moon. The point isn't to get obsessed with studying the finger. The point is to look where the finger is pointing and to see the moon for yourself.
It's an experience you have to have, not a theory you learn. So let's just pull this all together. These three ideas, they really form a complete practice, a full art of awakening. The present moment, that's the field where you do the work. No thought is the clear, non-attached mindset you bring to that field. And direct awakening, that's the catalyst. It's the spark that can ignite real insight when you're in that state.
Okay, so this all sounds very deep and profound, but how does any of this actually help you with that browser that has 100 tabs open? Well, the practical uses for our modern lives are actually incredibly direct and, honestly, pretty powerful.
You can think of this as your personal toolkit for a modern mind. When you feel that wave of anxiety, which, let's be real, is almost always about the future, you have a tool: anchor in the present. When you need to get in the zone and do deep work, you have a tool: cultivate that no-thought flow state where distractions just pass by. By not immediately slapping labels and judgments on everything, you foster an open mind. And ultimately, you start to realize the peace you're looking for isn't out there somewhere. It's an inward journey. And this brings us to a really beautiful final thought. And it's captured in this classic Zen story about looking for something that was never really lost. It's about the spring you were seeking. Just think about that for a second. Someone wanders around all day long, totally exhausted, desperately searching for any sign of spring. They finally give up, they come home to feed, and it's only then that they actually see it. Spring was right there, in their own garden, on the branch of a plum tree, the whole time. So often, the very thing we're searching for so desperately is right in front of us if we just had the clarity to see it. So I'll leave you with this. What if that clarity you've been searching for isn't something you need to go out and find? What if it's not something you have to achieve? What if, just like the spring on that plum branch, it's already here, waiting patiently in this very moment for you to simply come home to yourself and notice?